Okay. Good afternoon. I'd like to call to order the Pierce County Council. Today is May 6, 2025. The time is 3:02, and I'm going to ask the clerk to please call the roll.
Councilmember Yambe.
Here.
Councilmember Kruger.
Excuse.
Councilmember Denson. Here. Councilmember Herrera.
Excused.
Councilmember Morrell.
Excused.
Councilmember Ayala. Here. Councilmember Hitchen.
Here.
You have 4 members present.
And 4 members does make a quorum, everybody, so we are okay to do business this afternoon. We are going to start with our Pledge of Allegiance. We are going to ask Councilmember Ayala to lead the Pledge of Allegiance, followed by a moment of silence dedicated to our men and women serving overseas. We will then move into our land acknowledgement, so we're going to ask everybody, if you are able to stand. We'll do the pledge, moment of silence, and then we'll move into the land acknowledgement. So everybody please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
We acknowledge that we are on the traditional homelands of the Coast Salish tribes. Coast Salish people have lived on and stewarded these lands since time immemorial and continue to do so today. We recognize that this land acknowledgement is one small step toward true allyship, and we commit to uplifting the voices, experiences, and histories of the Indigenous people of this land.
Thank you. We are now at section 4, which is approval of our agenda. Is there any objections to our agenda as presented? Seeing none, we will consider the agenda approved. On today's council agenda, there will be multiple opportunities for public comment. On the consent agenda, you may provide comment on any final action item. And this afternoon, we have one resolution appointing a member to a board and commission, and also a set of minutes. During section 8 of the agenda, we will take public comment on the resolution items that are there. And then we also have community forum at the end of the meeting where we will invite anyone who is here or online to address the council. So we will move to our consent agenda. We now have the consent agenda before us. I'm going to just ask out loud because I'm not seeing them out. I just want to make sure, is Ryan Spence in the Zoom room or in this room physically? Okay, then I will entertain, I would like to seek a motion on approving the consent agenda. Is there anyone willing to make that motion? Councilmember Denson?
Thank you, Chair. I move to approve the meeting agenda, or to approve the consent agenda.
There.
That one.
It's been moved and seconded that we approve the consent agenda as written. I am going to open this up for public comment. If anyone would like to address the council on approving the consent agenda, this is one set of minutes and the appointment of Ryan Spence to, I can never find, the Transportation Advisory Commission. Is there anyone who would like to speak? You'll have up to 3 minutes. Anyone in the room? Not seeing anyone, so we'll go online. Mr. Weinsberry.
Yes, Madam Chair. For any members of the public who wish to provide comment on any final action items, press the raise hand icon in Zoom or star 9 on your telephone keypad. And I see no hands, Madam Chair.
With no hands raised, we will close public comment on the consent agenda and ask the clerk to please call the roll on approval.
Councilmember Denson.
Aye.
Councilmember Ayala.
Aye.
Councilmember Yambe.
Aye.
Councilmember Hitchen.
Aye.
The results of the roll call vote is 4 ayes and 0 nays.
With 4 ayes and 0 nays, the consent agenda is adopted. That brings us to section 6, which is messages from the executive. The executive transmitted the following ordinance on, and it was approved and signed on April 29th. It was ordinance O-2025-508, an ordinance of the Pierce County Council amending the Pierce County Code Title I, General Provisions, Title II, Administration, Title 8, Health and Welfare, and several other needed clarifications and updates to our non-development regulations. He also signed and approved and signed on May 2nd ordinance O-2025-510, an ordinance of the Pierce County Council removing the Pierce County's voluntary participation in the E-Verify program and repealing the Pierce County Code Section 2.106.102. And it continues on with a variety of other things. So that was passed last week. That brings us to Section 7, which is proclamations, awards, and presentations. I am going to look to council member, I think we are having Ayala read. Do we have copies of said I don't even have proclamations up here. Can we pause and flip the agenda, and we'll do R.L. Solis, and we will then allow staff to gather our proclamations, as we are missing also at least one of the entities that's supposed to be here for proclamations. I apologize to our guests that are here. Is there an objection to doing that? Okay. We literally don't have the physical proclamations, so that would be a good thing to have, and then the copies, so for those of us that don't wear glasses while sitting here, have copies. So those things. So we are going to move to Section 8, which is resolutions. We're going to do this a little out of order, everybody, but we're going to start with Resolution 2025-143. I'm going to look to Councilmember Denson for a motion.
Thank you, Chair. I move to approve proposal number R 2025-143.
It's been moved and seconded that we approve Resolution 2025-143. We are going to look to Ms. Long for a briefing, and then we're going to invite the executive up to introduce R.L. Soley.
Would you like to have the clerk read the title?
I would like to have the clerk. Ms. Persons, if you could read it in the record, thank you.
Proposal R 2025-143, a resolution of the Pierce County Council confirming R.L. Soley as Director of the Department of Emergency Management.
Thank you. I will eventually get this. Ms. Long.
Thank you and good afternoon. The resolution before you today would confirm the executive's appointment of R.L. Soley as the Director of the Department of Emergency Management. Section 3.30 of the Pierce County Charter provides that except for those positions filled by election, the executive shall appoint the chief officer of each executive department, and those appointments are subject to confirmation by a majority of the council. The Department of Emergency Management was created by ordinance of the council, and it is its functions and duties are codified at Section 206.010E of the County Code. The required qualifications for the Director of the Department of Emergency Management are set forth in Section 207.010A for the general qualifications of directors, and K, those specific to the Emergency Management Department. And those are set forth in my staff report and also in the code. The procedures for confirming appointments of chief officers of executive departments are set forth in the code at Section 128.175. Those provide that every appointment by the executive of a chief officer of executive department shall be in the form of a resolution and shall be reviewed by the appropriate standing committee. The code further provides that the committee may require the appointee to fill out a questionnaire outlining the appointee's background and qualifications. That has been done and is in your materials. Any hearing on such executive appointment shall be in a meeting open to the public, and that's what we are doing today. The executive has appointed R.L. Soley as the Director of the Department of Emergency Management, and this is before you today for confirmation. I will just note this was heard in the Public Safety Committee on April 28th and received a due pass recommendation. Thank you.
Thank you for the introduction. And today we have our executive here to introduce RL. Thank you.
Thank you, Chair Hitchin and members of the council. Good afternoon. I'm Ryan Mello, the Pierce County Executive, and I'm really excited to be here to present to you my third department director for confirmation by the council. I am quite thrilled to present to you R.L. Soley for your confirmation. We had 22 qualified applications for this really important role. My team led a robust, multi-step review and interview process that included internal staff teams, external partners such as fire and law enforcement chiefs, our labor partners, and first responders, and many others who were actively a part of the interview process. I want to pause. This is the third confirmation that you are considering. And I want to pause because our Deputy County Executive, Scott Nicholson, has been leading these recruitments and robust process on my behalf. And he's been doing an excellent job of helping to, working with the Human Resources team to source really high quality candidates. These whose finalists come to me for final decision making, but Scott Nicholson, our Deputy County Executive, has been doing an excellent job of managing this process and bringing us very high quality candidates. And I get to bring you the finalist. So again, it's been a robust multi-step process. You all have had the chance to meet Arel individually and during the committee hearing for her confirmation hearing. And I know you had dialogue with her during that time and got to review her written prepared materials. But for the benefit of the public and other county employees, I'd like to briefly introduce you to Arel and share why she is eminently qualified. Arel is a certified emergency manager. Arel is joining our Pierce County team after nearly 20 years of service with the Washington State Patrol, where she served as the Homeland Security Commander and Special Deputy. In that prior role, Arel served as a Senior Policy Advisor for Homeland Security and Emergency Management, including participation on the Governor's Emergency Management Council, working for multiple governors, provided executive support to the Washington State Fusion Center, and served in the Unified Coordination Group during disasters and statewide emergencies. Arel's responsibilities at the county will include leading the development and implementation of policies, procedures, and practices to ensure the efficient operation of the Emergency Management Department, emergency medical services, urban search and rescue, and critical radio communications that law enforcement, fire, and medical frontline first responders rely on every single day to respond to emergencies and keep our communities safe and well served. Since Arel started in her acting director capacity before confirmation by the council, she started that in mid-April, she has already begun building trusting relationships with our partners at South Sound 911, police and fire chiefs, labor partners representing employees of first responders, and interdepartmentally as well. As example, she's already begun getting her feet wet, building relationships with the Human Services Department, who's on the front lines of doing inclement weather response, especially for those of our unhoused neighbors. The Department of Emergency Management certainly plays a role with the Human Services Department in the lead. But Arel has already been doing that as a demonstration of already doing interdepartmental trust building and relationship building. Arel is fully prepared to lead a very diverse group of leaders doing essential work, having spent the last 18 years supervising teams of managers at the Washington State Patrol. Council members, we have a lot of work in front of us to prepare for uncertain financial times, to align our budget to our revenues and essential public services, and allow us to make progress on our most pressing challenges. Arel Soley and her leadership will be playing an essential role in keeping our community safe as we move Pierce County forward together. I'm pleased to present to you Ms. Arel Soley for confirmation to the role of Director of Emergency Management, and she's now ready to more fully introduce herself and take any questions you might have.
Thank you, Mr. Executive. Always great to see you. Arel?
Thank you, Chairperson Hitchin, and also to the council members. Thank you so much for this opportunity. My name is Arel Soley, and for the record, and I am pleased to be considered for the Director of Emergency Management. My last month here, officially, has been nothing but exceptional. It's been everything that I could have imagined. The people that I have met, the partnerships that we are already forging, it is, I leave every day knowing that tomorrow is going to be even better. Everything that I do every day is to make sure that our county is prepared in the event of a disaster. Whether that's a small disaster that only affects a part of Pierce County, like we have recently dealt with the Fairfax Bridge, or something catastrophic. All the work that we do every day is in preparation for that. So with that, I am just pleased to be here. I'm happy to take any questions that you may have, and I really look forward to the coming years to be able to serve Pierce County, to serve this executive and this council, and most of all, the residents of Pierce County. So thank you so much.
Thank you very much. And I know we had a really good conversation with you when we met during public safety, but we also had a chance to get some reflections from some fire chiefs because they were in the room and immediately spoke up. Oh, we love her. She's been doing great. It's good to know you've really jumped in with both feet, which is the way you enter water if you're jumping from a high distance. So questions from my colleagues. Councilmember Denson.
Thank you, Chair. I don't know if I have a question, but I'll try to come up with one as I'm speaking. We did have a really good conversation in public safety, so I think we've covered a lot of this, but I'll just reiterate that Director Solie jumped right in. I'm on the board of South Sound 911, and she was willing to come to a meeting with chiefs and tackle already some tough issues. I mean, there's a number of issues because the Department of Emergency Management is so important in so many different areas, but this is one issue that's been going on for a while, and just very frank, honest, upfront conversations with the chiefs. You could tell there was a lot of, everybody was meeting each other for the first time, but you could tell there was just a respect being established. And the questions that Director Solie was asking, I had no idea what she was talking about, but the chiefs knew, and they were very impressed. She absolutely had a depth of subject area expertise. So we were talking about communications and different systems and what the future looks like and the challenges and the history, although not too much of the history because we're looking forward. But it was so exciting, and I left just feeling so optimistic that we were going to just get everybody to the table and have the honest conversations that we need to have so that we can figure out a way forward that's good for all of the agencies as well as the county, and most of all is providing the highest level of service to the customers, our residents of Pierce County. So very excited. I've also had such pleasure working with DEM over the last couple of years, but especially recently on wildfire initiatives. Some of the areas in my district are peninsulas. Most of my district is peninsulas, so it's challenging topographically, and there's a lot of fear out there about what might happen if there was a wildfire in certain areas. People can't get out. So I'm so excited to work with you more on the variety of creative ideas that are coming forward, your expertise. This is your area. We cannot wait to see what ideas you bring us and your staff. And then as a former EMT, I'm so excited to see what you do with our medical division and the medical director and the EMS standards. I mean, there's all sorts of opportunities for improvement and new thoughts and working with your great staff and the agencies that are partnering. The last thing I'll just say, and again, I have not done a good job coming up with a question, is that the fire departments in particular really understand that DEM is such an important partner. And I just feel like the relationships that we're going to be able to forge with all of us that need to work together is going to be a beautiful thing, and it's going to be to the benefit of our communities. So thank you.
Thank you. Councilmember Denson, I will echo that as well, that my experiences with those stakeholders have been nothing but exceptional as well, and that gives me great hope that we will be able to tackle some really hard things together, and I don't think they'll be that hard once we actually sit down together and talk.
Right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for the comments. We'll go to Councilmember Yambe.
All right, now let's see. The question that I'm going to lead off with is, what are you most looking forward to tackling as the new director?
Thank you for that question. I think that it's probably two things that I'm most interested or most excited to tackle. The first is really engaging the amazing team that exists in DEM. So it's very easy for me to talk about external and all the things that maybe I want to accomplish or we want to accomplish, but nothing happens without all of them. And in this last month, I have learned the depth and the breadth of experience and knowledge that exists within the staff at DEM already. Just today, they are putting on one of the most amazing workshops on access and functional needs. And I was able to spend the morning with them, watching them do what they do best. And there was such pride watching what they do and the professionalism that they bring to that. So I'm so excited to work with them and to help them grow and eventually take my position someday. I would also say that I'm excited to talk about to bring stakeholders together, both Pierce County government and external stakeholders, to make sure that we are doing the basics well. So if we are not doing those basics well, we can't do it well on a grander scale. So I'm really excited to validate what we're doing well, and then to identify where we have opportunities for growth, and then get those teams together, which will surely be multidisciplinary and in many cases maybe geographically exceeding our boundaries, and bring those people together to make sure that that we are addressing those opportunities and just making ourselves better. So I'm a systems person, I'm a business person, and then I'm also an emergency manager. So I think bringing all those together is just going to be just fun for me to help lead over the next several years. So.
Okay. Well, Councilmember Ayala and myself had the occasion to take a tour of the office, and I was thinking the whole time, whoever takes this on is going to have a lot of important things to address, and we'll have to be extremely capable and nimble to a lot of the changing things and environment that we have to deal with. And so I am impressed so far with the presentations that you've done before the council, and your depth of knowledge and your enthusiasm for emergency management, and just the nimbleness that you've demonstrated so far. So I think that our Department of Emergency Management is in good hands, and it's looking forward to seeing what you do next. So appreciate it.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for the comments and questions. We'll go to Councilmember Ayala.
Thank you, Chair. One comment, but before I step into that comment, I learned something new about Councilmember Denson today as a former EMT, which I had no idea. So thank you for your service and all that you do in that work. I first and foremost just want to say thank you for saying yes to all of this. As Councilmember Yambe mentioned, we toured the department. It is so much that it does. It is fascinating how they're able to coordinate the level of organization that they have, and the level of preparedness that they have. And I am sure that with you being part of the team, the workload is just a little lighter and allows them to really focus with a bit more intention. And also want to say thank you to the way that you have addressed the questions. I am sensing a lot of compassion and empathy, and I think in the world of emergency management that is deeply needed. So I'm thrilled to see what our future holds with your leadership.
Thank you so much. I will say that emergencies, we don't direct, we coordinate. And if we become directive, then nobody hears us on the other end. So we really have to make sure that that foundation is strong before the emergency happens. So when it does happen, we're not meeting each other for the first time. We have that trust and relationship built, and that compassion to know that we're all coming together to solve a single problem. And we have to put aside kind of those egos and those whatever shirt we're wearing that day to be able to address the collective concern. So it really is the basis of emergency management. So for us, that's very natural. And so thank you for recognizing that, though.
Thank you for the comments. I legitimately don't have a question. I don't know, and I don't want to take up time or space for that, so I will not make one up. Thank you for saying yes. I always, as a former earth science teacher, it's natural events, they happen in most cases, except for intentional fires and things, but natural events, but they're human disasters. And what your job is to figure out how are we best prepared as a county and as a community to react and respond in the case of a disaster, because they're going to happen, and we just have to be prepared for all of them. And especially in our county where we check a lot of boxes. And so, I mean, there are very few counties where all of the boxes get checked. We're just unique. So the skill set that you need to bring and the relationships is massive. So thank you for saying yes. Go Cougs. And we went to the same high school. So I had no idea she did this work until this resolution came before us. And I was like, is this the same person that was in my brother's graduating class? So yeah. So, but anyways, thank you for saying yes. And I think we are, unless you have any further comments, I'm going to open this up for a public hearing. So any other questions or any other comments?
No, thank you.
Okay. Well, I am going to open this up for a public hearing. If anybody would like to address the council on resolution R 2025-143, please come to the podium. We'll start in chambers. Not seeing anyone, so we will go online.
Yes, Madam Chair. For any members of the public who wish to provide comments on proposal number R 2025-143, press the raise hand icon in Zoom or star 9 on your telephone keypad. And there are no hands, Madam Chair.
With no hands raised, I'm going to bring it back before the council and see if there are any further comments. Seeing none, I'm going to ask the clerk to please call the roll on the adoption of R 2025-143.
Councilmember Yonde,
Aye.
Councilmember Denson,
Aye.
Councilmember Ayala,
Aye.
Councilmember Hitchin.
Aye.
The result of the roll call vote is 4 ayes and 0 nays.
With 4 ayes and 0 nays, the motion is adopted. Congratulations. We're going to take a picture real quick.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. So we're going to go back to our regularly scheduled program, which is proclamations, now that I actually have proclamations. There we go. Okay. We have a proclamation before us declaring that May 9th or May 5th through the 9th of 2025 is Affordable Housing Week in Pierce County. I'm going to invite the following recipients to the podium. So we have Jim Strutz, the Executive Director of the Pierce County Housing Authority. We have Tasha Blakesley. I got it right. One of our program participants from the Pierce County Housing Authority. We also have Amanda DeShazo. Shazo from the Affordable Housing Consortium. And then is there anyone else in here? If you'd like to come to the podium, and then we are going to have Councilmember Ayala read this into the record.
Thank you, Chair. A proclamation of the Pierce County Council proclaiming the week of May 5th through 9th, 2025 as Affordable Housing Week in Pierce County, Washington. Whereas all people should have access to decent, safe, and healthy affordable housing, and the escalating crisis of housing affordability impacts all civic sectors and intersects essential for vibrant community living. And whereas Pierce County recognizes the impact that a lack of affordable housing, especially a lack of affordable housing in areas of opportunity, as on everything from transportation, public health, and racial and social justice. This also includes economic development, child welfare, educational outcomes, and physical, mental, social, and family well-being, all of which impact the social determinants of health. And whereas in 2023, Black households in Pierce County had a home ownership rate 33% points lower than white households, and Hispanic or Latino households had a home ownership rate of 18% points lower than white households. And whereas advancing policies and initiatives that prioritize fair and equitable housing opportunities and outcomes, promote inclusive communities, and advance racial equity and social justice. And whereas on December 3rd, 2024, the Pierce County Council adopted the 2024 Comprehensive Plan periodic update, which includes plans to accommodate more than 32,000 new housing units in unincorporated Pierce County by 2044, of which nearly 2/3 are needed for households earning less than 80% of Pierce County's area median income. And whereas goals and strategies in the Comprehensive Plan periodic update draw on and build upon other plans developed and implemented by Pierce County to increase housing affordability and reduce homelessness, including Pierce County's Housing Action Strategy, Comprehensive Plan to End Homelessness, Consolidated Plan, and the 6-year Expenditure and Implementation Plan for the Maureen Howard Affordable Housing Act. And whereas since 2016, Pierce County has dedicated funding to this construction or preservation of more than 2,000 affordable housing units, and countywide, more than 2,600 affordable housing units are currently in various stages of development. Now, therefore, be it proclaimed on this 6th day of May 2025 by the Pierce County Council and Executive that May 5th through 9th, 2025 is Affordable Housing Week in Pierce County, Washington. We affirm our commitment to expanding affordable housing through innovative cross-sector partnerships and collaboration. We urge nonprofit organizations, funders, private developers, government agencies, and businesses to collaborate across various sectors to address the shortage of affordable housing and attract resources that will increase efficiency and support the development of more affordable housing in Pierce County to build a healthier community for all.
Let's give them a hand. So thank you for joining us. Tasha, if you'd like to introduce yourself and just share why this is important to you or whatever thoughts you had on your mind, and come up to the podium. There you go.
Okay. So, good afternoon, council members. I'm going to read this because I'm super nervous. I actually had the honor of going to Washington, D.C. I've gotten to go the last 3 years and speak to our senators. So this is kind of my thing. So my name is Tasha. I'm honored to be here representing Pierce County Housing Authority in celebration of Affordable Housing Week. Our executive director, Jim Stretz, is here as well. So I am standing here today not as a statistic, but as a success story. I am the resident commissioner for the resident board commissioner for the Pierce County Housing Authority. But more importantly, I am living proof of what can happen if people are really given a chance and an opportunity with stable housing. I was born to drug-addicted parents. I was placed in 7 different foster homes before the age of 5. My grandparents fought to adopt me and my blood brother, but parenting wasn't in the cards for them. At 7, we were adopted into a financially stable home, but stability doesn't always mean security. I was never taught how to manage finances. I was only warned, don't get a credit card. Don't spend more money than you make. Meanwhile, love in our home was shown through material things. My love language has always been physical touch. You'll see how that plays a role later in my story. At age 21, I had my son, and for a while I was doing really well. I had always promised myself that I would never do drugs. I couldn't understand why my mother had given us up for them. But life has a way of humbling you, and I found myself on that same path. And I too lost everything, including my son. Not to the system, though. I lost him to my adoptive parents. It took me getting pregnant with my daughter to wake up. She was born with a disability, and in that moment, my life changed. But don't worry, every sad story has a good ending, and this is where we get to the good part. When I found out that I was pregnant, I got clean. I fought to do better. I've been sober for over 20 years. Boy, did I go on a journey, though. When my daughter was 1.5 years old, I received my Section 8 voucher, and with that, a chance to rebuild my life. I fought a long, hard battle to regain custody of my son, and because I got stable housing is why I finally won that battle. When I finally had both of my children with me, I knew that I had to do more than survive, I had to thrive. I eagerly waited for a spot in the authority's Family Self-Sufficiency, or FSS, program. And when I got in, I didn't waste a single opportunity. I took every class that they offered. The staff at the Housing Authority is amazing. In just 1.5 years, I went from a 400 credit score to a 750. Creditors that I was once hanging up on and afraid of were now offering me settlements and hanging up on me. In 2012, using my voucher to make my mortgage payments, and with the largest down payment that my lender had ever seen, utilizing 5 down payment assistance programs totaling $70,000, I bought my first home. Because of my daughter's medical needs, I couldn't work a traditional job. I did what I could, odd jobs, anything that I could to provide, until 2017 when I earned my real estate license. Real estate has allowed me to work from home where being present for my children. It also gave me something more, a purpose. I've discovered a passion for connecting with my community, hosting events, building relationships. In 2022, I founded the Dog Days of Spanaway, a community event that has since grown into a partnership with Sprinker Recreation Center. And in 23, I became a commissioner on the Pierce County Housing Authority Board. It's a way for me to give back to a program that helped me succeed, a program that has so freely given to me. But this isn't just my story. It's the story of thousands of families who need a chance. Housing assistance isn't just about providing shelter. It's about providing stability. It meant that my children never had to worry where they would sleep at night. It allowed me to focus on building a future instead of constantly fighting to survive. And because of that stability, my children are now the next success story. My daughter, who is born with brittle bones disease, has endured 15 surgeries and over 200 broken bones. But today she is in school studying to become an OBGYN, earning scholarships because she has a mother who has showed her what strength and resilience looks like. My son, raised by a single mom, tells everyone that I'm his hero because he's never met anyone stronger than me. Just last year, he graduated from the Arizona Tech School with his welding certificate, stepping into the career that he is passionate about. So my children get to dream because we've never had to fear losing our home. When you get to invest in housing, you don't just provide a roof, you provide hope. You provide stability, you provide the foundation that turns survivors into success stories. And I'm living proof of that, so thank you.
Thank you so much for sharing. I'm going to invite Amanda to.
Thank you. Sorry, I'm like, thank you for sharing your story. Hi, everybody. My name is Amanda DeShaza. Thank you so much for having me. I'm the executive director for the Tacoma Pierce County Affordable Housing Consortium. We do advocacy and education to support the affordable housing development in Pierce County. So it's a pleasure to be here. This is our 3rd year. It's so exciting, and every time I'm just like all smiles because yeah, it feels like it wasn't that long ago, and now it's 3 years in. So we've got some really great events lined up, 20 different events. We're doing tours tomorrow of different affordable housing sites. A lot of folks involved, virtual panels every day. The theme that we're doing this year focuses on the continuum of housing, so much like Tasha shared. It's, not always are we starting with emergency shelter and moving from that to permanent supportive housing and to rental and to home ownership, but a lot of the folks are always, often going back to from home ownership to emergency shelter or what have you. And so we've got a lot of great providers in Pierce County that are sharing their what they provide and how they get it done and what they need in order to make it happen. And so I encourage you guys to listen in if you have the time. And then I wanted to also give a shout out to County Executive Ryan Mello, who's always been such a great supporter alongside you guys for all of the affordable housing support you've provided. He's going to be our keynote speaker at our reception on Thursday. Super excited. You guys are all invited. And for anybody that might be watching who's interested in participating in the events, tpcahc.org. So thank you guys so much. Hopefully we will see you again next year.
Well, thank you all for being here and the work you do and sharing your experiences, Tasha. It's stories like yours that really help us share the message of why it's so important that we're investing in programs, we're investing in people, and we're doing this work on the front end to help create pathways to home ownership, stability, and just all the things that housing bring. I'm going to see if any of my colleagues have anything to say. Not seeing any, so we're going to invite you to come on up and take a picture, and then we have proclamations for you. And does the executive want to come up and hang out with this one too, since I'm missing 3 council members? There's room. Okay, so this next proclamation is near and dear to my heart. Our recipients are actually running a pretty significant, they're at an event and couldn't make it in person because the Puyallup Tribe is hosting a 2-day seminar and workshop around missing and murdered Indigenous women and people awareness and how to support that community. So I have Anna Bean, who is the chairwoman of one of the Puyallup Tribe of Indians, and then Carolyn DeFord is also online. And so we are going to have Councilmember Yambe read this in the record, but just want to make sure people knew why we didn't have anybody in the room, because usually we have somebody here, but you all are multitasking and running that event for us. So I'm going to turn this over to Councilmember Yambe.
Thank you, Madam Chair. All right. A proclamation of the Pierce County Council and Executive proclaiming May 5th, 2025 as Missing and Murdered Indigenous Women and People Awareness Day in Pierce County, Washington. Whereas Missing and Murdered Indigenous Women and People Awareness Day brings attention to the staggering number of missing and murdered Indigenous people nationally. Currently, there are more than 134 missing people in Washington state as of April 23rd, 2024. And whereas the state of Washington is home to 29 tribal nations and more than 300,000 Native Americans and Alaska Natives. Pierce County sits on the ancestral lands of the Spuyalapaj, Muckleshoot, Squaxin Island, and the Nisqually tribes. And whereas for generations the disappearance and murder of Native people has largely been invisible. This requires collaboration and action, and whereas in 2021, Washington State established the Washington State Missing and Murdered Indigenous Women and People, MMIW/P Task Force, and whereas on March 31st, 2022, Governor Jay Inslee signed into law HB 1725, creating a first-in-the-nation statewide alert system for missing Indigenous people, and whereas the Washington State Patrol has issued 147 missing Indigenous person alerts, with the missing persons being located in all but 19 cases. And whereas in close collaboration with the tribes and local law enforcement, Pierce County is now building an interactive website to better tell the stories of, raise the public recognition for, and work to bring home all missing and murdered Indigenous women and people. Now, Therefore, be it proclaimed by the Pierce County Council and Executive that May 5th, 2025 is Missing and Murdered Indigenous Women and People Awareness Day in Pierce County, Washington. We encourage community members to stand in solidarity, answer the call to action when asked, and encourage them to further educate themselves on this important issue.
Thank you. Councilmember Bean, are you in a space where you can speak with us about the work you're doing? You're looking for the mute button. I know that. I know what that looks like.
I was going to say from our task force meetings, you should recognize that face. Thank you. Hatsleha o CEAB DCIA at Chilep. Anna Bean seats the Tootie D seats the Spoil Pops Chud. Good day, honorable friends and relatives. I'm Anna Bean. I'm a Puyallup tribal member. I'm one of 7 sitting council members. I'm here today by the support of our chairman, Bill Stayrood, and our vice chairwoman, Sylvia Miller, and the remainder of the council members of the Puyallup tribe. In 2000 and I'd say 21, I was appointed as the council representative for MMIWP, and it's been quite a journey. Like, once you learn something, you can't unknow what you know, and I feel compelled every single day to make sure that I'm available. And I'm sorry that I'm not there in person, but I thank you guys so much, all of the council of Pierce County, for putting together this proclamation. I thank you guys for actually reaching out and working with individuals to make sure that it's appropriately worded and covers all bases. And I just hope that when we're talking about calls to action, when you see folks on social media, like, that's a lot of how folks communicate these days, is through social media, is when you see a flyer or a pamphlet or somebody has shared a post about a missing relative, that we do our best to make sure that we share those out. Time is of the essence in these cases. And that we make sure that we tell the facts about reporting structures to any law enforcement agency. It is not a 24-hour period that you have to wait for in order to report a loved one or a relative or a friend missing. And it's important that we share that information out. On these particular days, I heard last night we had a community gathering, and one of the folks that spoke at that dinner was talking about how they had a missing relative, and that oftentimes when somebody passes away, we don't know what to say, or when somebody goes missing, we don't know what to say. And so we stop mentioning people's names, and we stop, asking them questions about their lives together or any information about their missing or murdered relative. And they talk about how much that hurts when people are scared or afraid to mention them. And in this movement, you'll see oftentimes people will say their names, because the moment that you stop speaking about those folks that have gone missing or murdered, they die twice. And so I just wanted to share that. That was some information that was shared last night from a relative of a murdered or a victim and relative. And I just feel like it was compelling enough to make sure that from this point forward that I share that. And I thank any one of you that have been a part of any of the work in regards to MMIWP in any levels of your jobs. It's important that we create meaningful legislation in this work, stuff that sticks, and that we become the voices for those who no longer have one. And that's as far as like all of our programs in our communities that we have, your domestic violence programs, law enforcement. We're always talking about things after they happen, and we need to start talking more about prevention again, and getting ahead of things instead of always chasing and behind them. But I just want to thank you all for all your work, our continued relationships that we've been building here between the Puyallup tribe and Pierce County. And I think that's pretty much all I have to say. Thank you guys so much. I will ensure that I will be there next year in person. And again, I just thank anybody who's a part of this work, any of the advocates. It's through the grassroots efforts and the family members that we're even to this level. of having these dialogues with each other, having proclamations and all of this work. And so I'm really thankful for the folks that never gave up, because through their hard work, that is why we are all here today. So I raise my hands to you all. Asbut Butlachi Bit Tabutlachud. Hoyaf Chud.
Thank you, Councilmember Bean. I appreciate you taking some time. Carolyn DeFord, I know quite well from the MMOWP task force, but she leads the anti-trafficking program of the Puyallup tribe and is running an event. But if you have a few minutes to share with us a little bit about your work.
Thank you for having us, for the committing to this work. Again, every year that you guys sign a proclamation and call us in, it reminds our families that we're not invisible, we're not forgotten, that the problems that are taking our people matter, outside of our own tribal community. Over 72% of Native American people live off reservation. And so this, especially where we're at, we're one of the largest, Puyallup is one of the largest urban tribes in the country. And so a lot of the issues that are creating vulnerabilities for our tribal community are happening off reservation, and our folks are seeking assistance off reservation. So this isn't necessarily a Native American issue or a reservation issue or an issue for our tribal council to fix. This is a community issue. And thank you for acknowledging that we all have a role to play. I lost my mom 25 years ago, and as I've been doing advocacy work, I didn't realize I was advocating. I thought I was just doing what I needed to do to make sure nobody else would have to go through this. And we started testifying with the Washington State Legislature in 2017, and our first step was that we got a report. And that's been almost 10 years now, and we've made great progress, but we've still got so much to go. And like Anna said, we all have, there's something that we can all do to contribute. This is 100% preventable, and we're taking steps today that I'm very proud of to be able to lead our future generations into a community and a life where they can feel safe to walk down the street again, where we don't have to teach our young people how to protect themselves from danger in their own homes or in their communities. But I just appreciate so much that you acknowledge this day and that you acknowledge the impact that this has had on our communities. And thank you for the work that you do in raising and elevating our voices and our issues. And for the housing department as well. A lot of our folks are vulnerable and seeking safe housing. And when they can't leave an abusive relationship or a toxic system, a toxic situation and find safe housing, they are even more vulnerable. And in the domestic violence program, that's one of our biggest challenges, is finding safe and affordable housing. So thank you guys as well for continuing to be a part of that solution. Thank you.
Thank you. And we will make sure to get the proclamations to you. I don't think it's weird to take a photo without any of our recipients here in person, so we'll just make sure to get them in the mail to you. But I really appreciate the work in bringing this forward. And people are like, well, it's May 6th, so you're declaring May 5th. So we knew last week was going to be a challenging council meeting when it came to timing, but also they were kicking off their event, and they were very into the weeds of planning everything, and there was just a lot going on. So we'll try and coordinate the dates a little bit better next year so that we can do it before. But really this entire week thinking about how you can lift up this work. I have learned a ton on the task force with these two amazing people and many others from across the state. So thank you, Councilmember Yambe, for bringing this forward. Are there any further comments on this? Okay, thank you both for being with us. I appreciate the work you're doing every day, and we will get this in the mail to you. Okay. We are going to move on. We did things a little out of order today. We are going to move back to resolutions. We have proposal R 2025-141S before us. We're going to look to Councilmember Ayala for a motion.
Thank you, Chair. I move that we approve proposal R 2025-141S.
It's been moved and seconded that we approve resolution 2025-141S. Can the clerk please read it into the record?
Proposal number R 2025-141S, A resolution of the Pierce County Council identifying street lighting and other neighborhood traffic projects for funding pursuant to ordinance number 2023-44S2 and requesting the county engineer to review and authorize said projects.
Thank you. And that, we are going to turn this over to Ms. Rhett Hunt to introduce.
Thank you so much. I'm Erica Rhett Hunt, council staff. So Resolution 2025-141S is the annual neighborhood traffic safety program. The program adopts a list of council-identified small-scale lighting and traffic safety projects that are funded by an appropriation in the budget, and they're also, that appropriation is recognized in the 6-year Transportation Improvement Program as County Road Project 5950. The 2024-25 budget appropriated $300,000 for the program over the biennium, and in 2024, Council adopted a resolution that approved a list of 25 projects and authorized half of that appropriation. So today, the resolution looks to authorize the remaining $150,000 of the appropriation and requests that the county engineer review and approve these projects as appropriate. So Exhibit A of the resolution includes the list of the proposed projects. Since the program's only available for projects in the unincorporated area, there are no projects listed for our fully incorporated District 4. However, there are also 2 amendments to add a project, and Mr. Swanson will speak to those at the appropriate time. Staff prepared an equity note for the proposal, and there is no fiscal impact since the money for the program was already set aside in the budget.
Thank you very much. I'm going to look to see if there are any comments before we move to the amendments. I'm not seeing any. Councilmember Ayala first.
Thank you, Chair. Just, sorry, not a comment, a question.
Appropriate time.
Thank you. I'm wondering if you might be able to share a little bit about how this particular neighborhood traffic program and Vision Zero overlap, complement, or work in tandem with one another?
Absolutely. That's a great question because we just addressed Vision Zero last week with the council resolution. So like many transportation projects, there are areas of overlap. So several of these projects could improve safety measures on a neighborhood scale that would contribute to the efforts of Vision Zero. So while they're not specifically Vision Zero projects per se, contributing to overall safety in reducing the possibility for collisions, improving pedestrian safety, bicycle safety, those things all work toward the Vision Zero mission.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Thank you for the question. Okay, we're going to look to introduce these 2 amendments. I'm going to turn to Councilmember Denson to introduce Council Amendment number 1 on behalf of Councilmember Krueger.
Thank you, Chair. I move Council Amendment number 1 for adoption.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded that we adopt Council Amendment number 1. Mr. Swanson, can you?
Yes, thank you, Madam Chair. Council Amendment number 1, again, is sponsored by Councilmember Krueger. What it would do is add an additional project to the District 3 portion of the list. That project would be to install reflective arrow signs on Waller Road East, south of the intersection with Military Road East, on the curve near 16613 Waller Road East. Councilmember Krueger's not here to give a description of this, but this is in an area where a school was recently built. There's been traffic analyses and studies done as a result of that. This is addressing a very somewhat narrow issue of, on Waller Road, there's a bit of a curve right at that address specifically. Both roads, Military and Waller right there, are 35 miles an hour. And there's been some incidences reported of people running off the road there. Lighting may be an issue. But there's been but putting the reflective arrow up is to address a very specific, very narrow problem that's occurred, which is why this is so narrowly tailored and not a broader request for a study or something like many of our other requests.
Okay, thank you. Are there any questions on this amendment? Seeing none, I would ask the question. All those in favor of adopting Council Amendment number 1, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? I heard 4 ayes, so we will consider it adopted. Thank you. We then go to Council Amendment number 2. I'm going to go, it says Councilmember Denson on here because it's your amendment, so this one's for you.
Thank you, Chair. I move that we approve amendment number 2.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded that we adopt Council Amendment number 2 to R 2025-141S. Mr. Swanson.
Yes, thank you, Chair Hitchin. Again, this amendment number 2 would again add a single project, this time to the District 7 portion of the list. The language that would be being added for the project would be to install caution signs or other traffic calming measures in advance of the 144th Street Northwest and 54th Avenue Northwest intersection. Councilmember Denson is the sponsor, and I'm not sure what would like to speak to what brought the constituent contacts you've had that brought us this amendment.
Thank you, Mr. Swanson. Yes, this is just a really dangerous intersection. It's near the Purdy transfer station, and there's quite a few accidents, high-speed accidents there. So we're just looking for some ideas from the department to help people slow down and make sure they know that there's traffic coming out of, it's kind of a T intersection. So appreciate your consideration.
Thank you. Are there any questions on this? Seeing none, I will entertain, or I will ask the question. All those in favor of adopting Council Amendment number 2, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you very much, Mr. Swanson. Though actually, I'm going to ask my question I asked earlier, and I don't know if Ms. Rhett Hunt's going to cover my question. So my question is, we have a lot of projects, and I'm just curious how the Planning and Public Works deals with when we run out of the $150,000 that we allocated, because I look at some of these projects and some of them by themselves could be 150 in my brain. So,
Okay, so Chair Hitchin, we have Sarah Grice, our county traffic engineer, here to talk about their process.
okay. Ms. Grice, thanks for joining us.
You're welcome. Thank you for having me this afternoon. Sarah Grice, Planning and Public Works, Office of the County Engineer, Traffic Engineer. And so how we go about prioritizing these projects, it's really a matter of internal staff resources to analyze all of the locations, determine the engineering recommendations, and then if those recommendations can be handled with the funds allocated, then we move forward. Some locations maybe we would recommend a signal project. Well, that would not be able to be covered with these funds. We add them to our signal priority array list, and with all of those signalized intersection priorities, we scale those based on different factors of safety and improvement to the traveling public, and we go after grant funds for those projects. So we do what we can with the funding, and a lot of the projects that I recommended have low-cost solutions. So we're able to do a lot of improvement with a small amount of funds.
Okay. Good to hear. Thank you. I appreciate it. It was just a curiosity because when I first got here, the lists were not as detailed and as they were great, really good projects, but I feel like the lists have progressively gotten longer. So just wanted to ask the question. So any further questions or comments from my colleagues? I'm going to open this up for a public hearing then. Invite members to speak on Resolution 2025-141S. Is there anyone in chambers that would like to address the council on this? Please come to the podium, state your name if you'd like it on the record.
Yes, sure. Hi, my name is Jack Michael, and I'm Councilmember Herrera's constituent. And from what I understand, I was the only one to come to him regarding the street that we happen to be on. And it made the list, which I am firmly happy to hear about. But when I came the first time, there was something that was going on with housing. There were some codes being, new codes with housing that were going on. You had 3 or 4 contractors or whomever sitting up here, and there's something that the language was used that worries me a bit. You know, I used to practice law. I practiced law here 42 years ago, probably before some of you were born even. And the language I heard then was something that I'm hearing now that gives me great concern, not only locally, but nationally. And when I hear someone who builds new houses, and especially today, listening to, you know, affordable housing, et cetera, one of these contractors say that, well, you know, maybe we don't need that code because there's cultural differences. Well, the first difference that we don't have is that we're all American. I hope we all recognize that. I know we do, in particular by the Pledge of Allegiance. You know, that's something I would like to ask someone at the United Nations why we voted a certain way a few months back, but that's a different place. You know, when I hear that with respect to codes, the first thing I think of is, well, if it's a cultural difference, does that mean they must be black, they must be brown, they must be Native American, they must be gay, but they're certainly not white? And I hope that the council is not falling into that, and I hope the council is not falling into being afraid to face your constituents if there are questions. You know, I see that happening nationally. I hope to God it's not happening locally. Like I say, it's a change. I've been listening to Bob Dylan a lot, and times have been changing. That's correct. Let's hope they get back to where they were. You know, I protested women's rights 50 years ago, and I really don't want to do it again. I'm too damn old to do it. Let's get out of this stuff. Thank you. That's all I've got.
Thank you for your comments. We'll mention to Vice Chair Herrera that you were here with us. Is there anyone else in chambers that wants to speak on this resolution? Seeing none, we will go online.
Yes, Madam Chair. For any members of the public who wish to provide comments on proposal number R 2025-141S, press the raise hand icon in Zoom or star 9 on your telephone keypad. And I see no hands, Madam Chair.
With no hands raised, we'll close public comment and bring it back before the council. Is there any further discussion on this as adopted? Seeing none, I'm going to ask the call the roll on the adoption of R 2025-141S as amended.
Councilmember Ayala. Aye. Councilmember Yambe.
Aye.
Councilmember Denson.
Aye.
Councilmember Hitchin.
Aye.
The results of the roll call vote is 4 ayes and 0 nays.
With 4 ayes and 0 nays, the motion is adopted. Thank you to the staff for working on this and to my colleagues for really working with constituents to identify projects that were impactful to your community safety. We do not have any ordinances this afternoon, so I'm going to go directly to community forum. This is an opportunity for members of the public to address the council on any topic of significance or affecting Pierce County government that did not appear on the agenda for final action today. There is a 3-minute limit. If you'd like your name on the record, please state it. We'll start here in chambers and see if anyone, please come to the podium, and then we will go online. But we'll start in here first. If you'd like your name on the record, please state it.
Yes, good afternoon, council members. My name is Angelina Izquierdo, and I'm here to talk about the Pierce County DCR program that's been established for over 6 years. I am a sexual assault and human trafficking survivor, as well as a victim still, so still in the works. But I would like to urge you to discontinue the DCR crisis program. And it's been in conjunction with the Pierce County Sheriff's Department, as well as the Good Samaritan Hospital that's located in Puyallup, Washington, where I live. And it has been over the years, a very dangerous and discriminatory program. So I have personal experience that was very negative and considered illegal against the law with each individual and group that was associated in the lineup of this process, with the exception of a couple of people actually extending courtesy and concern. It all started out with at least a couple of officers invading a living quarters, which was my house. So unexpectedly beating up, choking, tranquilizing, as well as dosing with very potent drugs. that can be considered poisonous and sexually assaulting orally to encourage the victim to be quiet, which was me. So this led me to officially being a sexual assault victim, and in which I stated openly to the entire hospital floor once I got there. It was a very traumatizing experience that I remain steadfast in sharing for awareness and empowerment. The point of the crisis program, in case you're unfamiliar with it, is having a person that is considered involuntary, as in no longer having human rights and access to resources. The proof of this that supports this viewpoint is a section that lists mental health disorders. Some of the examples that was very subjective without evidence were active distress, grave disability, and substance use disorder without any context. There isn't even a counseling or other mental health appointment that is conducted to prove these conditions along with their causes. This is not in accordance to Washington State Administrative Code, American Medical Association Principles of Medical Ethics, or other human policies for adequate medical care. This is how it has been for years, and it has to change. I have seen other people and patients go through similar experiences, as well as seen and heard testimonies in person during the time of when I was going through it, as well as after, online and also via virtual reality. So again, I urge all of you council members to discontinue the DCR program conducted by the Sheriff's Department, and also find an alternative route to the solutions you are looking for using humane practices when dealing with people with suspected behavioral health disorders. I hope that MultiCare can also cooperate with you all in this matter. I really hope so. Thank you for this opportunity to speak to you this afternoon. It's appreciated to have my voice heard on these serious subjects. Thank you very much.
Thank you for sharing. And we will go online, Mr. Weinsberry.
Yes, Madam Chair. For any members of the public who wish to provide comment, press the raise hand icon in Zoom or star 9 on your telephone keypad. And I see no hands at this time, Madam Chair.
With no hands raised, we will close community forum and bring it back to the full council. Are there any announcements or any other business before us today? Well, I will close with a reminder that most people probably didn't hear because it was 9 o'clock last time when I said this, but it is Hunger Awareness Month. We had the Hunger Walk this last weekend. We've got Stamp Out Hunger this Saturday. If you have a mailbox or community mailbox, if you have non-perishable, non-glass, don't put out glass items, you can just put it on top of or in your mailbox and flip up the little flag. And postal workers and community volunteers will be out and about picking up lots and lots of food to help support our community members that are living food insecure, which there sadly are many. So thank you to all, and seeing no other business before the council, we are adjourned.